Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Just giving it a hot minute for the big cats to assemble, darling dears. Notifications just gone out. I see Cocaine Pineal, Millie de la Prida, Big Cat Wave, Wagwan, Batty Crone, Fist Bomb. Come in, Big Cat. I've got intel. Nicolette, I see you, darling dear. Audra Dye, my bestie. All of me brethren are showing up. Melinda C. Wagwan. Are you enjoying this glorious day gifted to us by the Most High, Father God, Mother Isis? Well, guess what, bestie? I'm testing out a new mic. Can you hear me clearly? Because everybody keep complaining. If you can hear me, give me a cat and a microphone emoji. Let's go, let's go. We're going to find out what's going on together. Because, baby, I can't do this alone. Without no me, there's no you. There is no I in team. Fist bump. Oh, so the microphone's working out. Thank you. Voyager 2. Yes, baby. This ain't Star Trek and we don't allow the Klingons. Pinkies up. We're going to dive right in. We're going to kick off with the dice. You know that I'm using, well, I use all different numerology, Lord Jesus, Mercury retrograde, pre-shadow. It's coming for us tomorrow, guys. In Aries, no less. This is the low shoe grid, darling. It's Chinese numerology, okay? I've got my dice. We're going to see where the big cat falls, see what energy is at your back, and then we'll go in. Give it a good shufty. It's so fabulous when everything's all lined up. Thank you very much. Kimberly loves Big Cat Wave. You know I'm going to spend that on honeydew melons. And what sealed baggies, darling dears. I eat from no one. Let's go in. Okay. It's something that you don't see coming towards you, darling dears. You have the energy of a 9. So it's ending of some cycle or situation. We'll put it here to remind ourselves. But can you see where the big cat is? You're on the energy of a 3. All right. It just fell down. Right? Something that you don't see coming towards you. Okay, bestie. The number 3 is represented, excuse me, s'il vous plaît, by your past, darling dears. Something from the past is about to rear its ugly head. Why? Because things are improving in your life. Listen, if your life was on the rocks of life, darling dears, and you was what? Walking around with your hair all pitchy-patchy with a full-on reverse friar tuck, you wouldn't have nothing unseen coming towards you except more what? Wickedness, darling dears. Wickedness. But something's coming towards you, darling dears. Something or someone from the past. I can't make this up. Well, we're on their trail. It's a situation that we already know that you've finished with, darling dears. You've brought it to fruition. You've told them to go forth and multiply. All right. Let's put these dice back where they were. My hands are very shaky. Someone's hands shaky. My hands aren't normally this shaky. But anyway, let's carry on, darling dears. You have the energy of the 3. On the dice, the energy of the 3 speaks about what? Conflict and confusion. Tongue wrestling, darling dears. Why? This is a nerve-wracking period. So your past is paying attention to you, darling dears. 27 in the chat. What's that? The energy of the 9. Still going to carry on, darling dears. The energy of the 6 is what? For cooperation. So they may come in wanting what? Some kind of help. They're going through some kind of medical crisis. Listen, being fucked up is a condition, but it's not been put on any certificate. Yes, baby. They've got personality disorders and they want to bring it to your hemisphere. Yours, not mine, darling dear. They can't come round my house. Are you mad? Listen, I told you, I've got my cameras up outside. A squirrel can't get a nut in my garden without me knowing. Listen, if you're in my path, don't approach me. I've got what? Jazz hands, darling dears. And I'm not afraid to slip out of my lace front in public. Baby, Why? Because my hairline, it's come back. Hey, let's carry on, darling dears. Who is it? Who else is here? Um, is it Diane? Diane, are you Diane? Hello, Diane. You all right? Okay then, let's press on, darling dears. The energy of the 9. Come on, babes, drop down and get your eagle on. I not only give you messages here, I'm teaching you astrology. I teach you numerology. I teach you the tarot, darling dears. You come here for a lesson and what's going on. Why? Because we love to sip our mochas together because we ain't getting smoke blood. Not here at what Don't Get Smoked headquarters. Right, the energy of the 9, darling dears. Your birthday could be the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th, or this is a significant day or date or number in your life. My current door number is a 27, darling dears. Okay, let me just go on the sidebar. Whatever your door number is, right, darling dears, add it up if it's a double figure and bring it down to a single figure. If it's not one that you want to be in your hemisphere, darling dears, to bring into your house, you can change it by putting the rest of the number to make up to the number that you want. Remember, it has to be a number from 1 to 9 on the inside of your door. It could be coins. Say if I wanted to change my 27, right, to 28, okay, I add the 2 and the 7 to get to a 9, and then I'll put the rest of I think, is it 16? Listen, my maths is up and down at the moment, right? But I'll do that on the inside of the door to bring it down to the number that I want. You have to use these energy of the numbers. Sometimes what's going on with you is the number of your door, darling dears. Remember I told you that. People's numbers break down to a 1, darling dears, but if the number comes down to a 1, it means single. It means that you will be fighting with everything alone. Yes, you will have the initiative. You'll be in a leadership role, but you're doing that by yourself, blood. Remember I told you that. Anyway, we're going to press on. The energy of the 9, darling dears. Your luckiest days over the next few days will be what? Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. The letters associated with the number 9 are I and R. The number 9 is ruled by Mars, darling dears. It speaks about you being you're a humanitarian, darling dears. If you're a big cat, you're a humanitarian. You've got a big heart. The only thing was that until you knew what was going on, when you was at your dummy bat stage, no judgment here, darling dears. I've told you many times, I was a dummy bat for 50 years. That's half of 100, blood. Let this in. I can't think about that. It's gonna make me sweaty, and I'll have to rip off my glasses, darling dears, and pinch the bridge of my nose. I've overcome all of that. Listen, don't let me start talking in the tongues. Who gonna check me, boo? Anyhow, the energy of the 9, darling dears, is ruled by Mars energy, big cat Mars. So it speaks about your drive, and it's also a reminder that yes, you may be in your masculine energy at this moment in time, but this is your protector and provider mode, darling dears. Protector and provider. It also is a reminder for you to what? Keep your personal power, darling dears. Don't get pulled into situations that is not on your spiritual level. It's not at your pay grade, blood. Someone or someone's that you've left in the past is paying attention to you. I can't make it up. We saw it together. The energy of the 9, darling dears. It also speaks about you have more compassion for yourself, because it's nice to be caring for others, but where is that safe, sweet spot for yourself? Self-care, self-love, and self-worth, darling dears. You have so much to share with the world. This is part of your soul contract. The reason why you was contracted to come back. You came back as a volunteer. I know, blood. And imagine that. We all saw our scripts, what we was coming back for, darling dears. We saw it, and we still came. Listen, I nearly ripped off my glasses, right, and pinched the bridge of my nose. Like I said, we're not going to go backwards. We're going to work with what we got, get all of the intel, and get out. The energy of the 9, darling dears. It also speaks about what? Universal love. I said it was Mars energy. So something is being injected into you. Listen to your intuition, your discernment. Pay attention to your dreams, darling dears, because you have some kind of download coming towards you. The energy of the 9 also speaks about what? An unexpected fortunate event, which is going to be in your hemisphere, darling dears, over the next few days as we get into the Mercury retrograde in Aries. Okay, the pre-shadow. but it's something that is going to what push you forward. Because it's the retrograde, you're going to doubt it, darling dears. This is the time where you must not doubt yourself. This is the time where you must hold your gangster. Whatever this opportunity or situation that is going to unfold in your life over the next 12 months, you've got to go balls to the walls, darling dears. You've got to get great. You've got to get gangster. You've got to move in silence, and you have to have what? Faith. The size of a mustard seed, darling dears. The size of a mustard seed. The energy of the 3-6, darling dears. It speaks about a gift. You are being gifted. You are being given a gift, darling dears. It could be the gift of the heads up. It could be the gift of what? Your intuition, your discernment, paying attention to that quiet voice that tells you to go left when you was going right. Pay attention to yourself, darling. There's divine has given you what? The keys to a Bugatti. Yes, baby, your spiritual Bugatti. All right, let's press on. Have I missed anything out? In tarot, the number 9 rules the hermit as well as the moon. The hermit, when you see a lantern on a tarot card, it speaks about enlightenment. The hermit was about what? The journey that you had to do within. The hermit also speaks about, could also bring what? The energy of the black sheep, darling dears. This is about you having to learn yourself from the inside out in order to what? Bring many situations to fruition. Energy of the 9 again, darling dears. The moon also speaks about enlightenment, but the moon also represents your emotions. The moon also rules what? Family members, darling dears. You got some family members in their listen, I'm tired of listen. I feel like punching myself in the mouth, right? If I didn't know listen, if I didn't know my own strength, darling dears, I would have punched myself in the listen, my left hand, right? I'm right-handed, that's dominant. But the left hand, this is the tricky one. I don't talk about them. Right? Can we finish the? I don't want to talk about no family members today. Right? Let's just right. The energy of the 9 is the 9th house. Okay, the 9th house is Sagittarius energy. Okay, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's about expansion. Some of you expanded yourself in what? A spiritual way, and it also speaks about what? The higher mind. It also speaks about your ethics, darling dears. And again, you may even be publishing things on the internet, darling dears. It could be a picture, whatever it is. All eyes are on your throne. Why? Because the 9th house is about things that are outside of you, things that are afar, things that you are about to attain, that is across from the 3rd house. The 3rd house is what? About your learning. People are watching you learn new things, or they're learning new things about you because they are watching you, darling dears, and breathing through their mouth, just like P. Diddy when he was getting his free coughs on. Yeah. Anyhow, and another thing I wanted to tell you, go and watch the Vibes Cartel reading that I did in February, when we all learned, because I'm Jamaican parentage and I pay attention to the Jamaican news. We learned that his murder case, with all of the shoddy evidence, the police took his phone out of the evidence box and took it home for the weekend, right? The person who is the sole witness has been put in prison for the lies that he's told. Listen, it's a lot. Well, anyway, I predicted that Vibes Cartel would be free. And then I also predicted that it would be about 10. We came out with the number 10. I thought it was the 10 years, but 10 months. I believe within the next 10 months, Vibes Cartel will be free. Because even though the Privy Council has chucked it back to Jamaica, right? That's shame on them, darling dears. Because they could have caught it at the appeal courts in Jamaica, darling dears, but they didn't. How can you put someone in prison for 35 years on circumstantial evidence, right? The phone's been messed with, right? The jury was bribed, yeah, and the judge left the briber of the jury amongst the jurors. Listen, if that don't make you want to grab onto your ovaries and your scrotum, I don't know what will, darling dears. Well, anyway, go and watch that read. I predicted it, and then after you watch that, watch the read that I did on what? Kate. Where is Kate? I told you where she is. Why? Because Kate has not been seen in public for, I think it's 80 days. But check this out. Lean in, bestie. Not only is Kate missing, her progeny's missing. They haven't been to school or any of their usual things. Who takes their, if mummy's going through something, darling dears, the children will be around her. Did they take them out of school so that they could be so that they could be privately tutored. Why would they want to segregate the children at this moment in time, darling dears? Why are they not going to school? Listen, if this was a regular person, right? If this was me, right? The police would be kicking down my door, right? Social services would have been through my shit, opened up my fridge and asked me about my sex life. I'm telling you, darling dears. But because it's the crown, you can't go and bruck into Kensington Palace and say, here what, produce Kate. Yeah? Where is Kate? Right? I go and watch the reading. Right? The cards told us what's happened, darling dears, and it's 2 different times. I've done 2 different readings about this. Watch that. May Kate, right? Because she's a woman, regardless of how you feel about her. This is a mother and her children. They're missing, right? May the grace, the protection and guidance of Father God, Mother Isis cover Kate and her 3 progenies, darling dears. And you know I got 3 progenies, and you know number 3 is my lucky number, and the multiples of it. Why? Because Tesla told us it's the key to the universe, and it's also a reminder of the what? Frequencies, darling dears. Pay attention to the frequencies. The energy of the 9, darling dears, as I already said to you, is Mars energy. Okay, and Mars energy, come on Case, get back on the horse. Mars energy is the frequency of 528. Play that frequency, especially at night when you're going to sleep. There's so many videos of it on YouTube to what? Balance out yourself, because the 528 is what? It's just solar plexus. It's an attack on your confidence, darling dears, your willpower, your drive, darling dears. And what? It speaks about the manipulative tendencies of others outside of yourself, because again, we have the energy of the 9. Circumstances and situations that you are done with, dusted, darling dears. But these circumstances and situations haven't forgotten about you. We're about to drop down and get our eagles on, darling dears. Let's get the energy of Mars out so we can see that we've got the power behind us, and it comes with force. Mars comes in with a 5. 5 is the number of what? Conflict and confusion, but it's also what? Constructive freedom. The 5 is also ruled by Mercury. Mercury speaks about short journeys. It also covers what? Siblings, darling dears, and extended family members. So people are paying attention, right? The 3rd house also speaks about what? Televisions and phone. Maybe you have, I don't know, maybe they're watching it on their TV and then looking on their phone at you, darling dears. And it also speaks about the 3rd house is ground transportation. Maybe you've bought a new car. Maybe they're wishing your car to be wrapped around a tree. Whatever it is, darling dears, they don't like what they're seeing. It's an offense, right? A stone to their eye chakra, darling dears, and a blade to that black pit they call a heart. Their heart is hurting. They, them, and We've already got the letters out. We had what? H, Q, and Z, darling dears. No, I said H, Q, and Z. Why did I say that? That's the energy of the 8. That's Saturn energy. The energy was the letters were I and R. So I said H, Q, and Z. So therefore, that must be amongst them, darling dears. Freudian slip, meant to come out. Fist bump. We have a 6, 3, and what's that? A 9. Listen. The energy of the 9 is on full force for us today, darling dears. And it's also a reminder for what? It doesn't matter what they try to do. Continue to be selfless, darling dears. It doesn't matter what people do to you. It's how you choose to what? Conduct thyself, darling dears. Continue to sit in your ethics. You don't have to come off your pedestal just because somebody is in the gutter, darling dears, sending these negative energies. It says nothing about you. Why? You are not answering to their call. Many of us have been called, but we don't answer. Why? We've got bigger things to be getting great with, darling dears. Bigger things to be getting great with. Right, let's get the Oracle Ancestral message and press on it to HEYOKA. I'm going to use the African Goddess Rising. Haven't used this in a while. Yeah. It's about your outward appearance. Somebody's wishing some kind of accident on you because Mars rules accidents, darling dears. But it's also about health. Maybe somebody's going to be approaching you because they had some form of accident with their ground transportation. They're going for it, darling dears. They're going for it, and they're looking for what? A nurse with a purse, right? A big cat who doesn't know they're a big cat, who is still a dummy bat. Listen, if you're here, you can stay if you want to, but you better be quiet. Just pay attention to what's going on. Many things fell out. I'm going to go with this. You're putting up a resistance. Yes, baby. This reminds me of Kali, darling dears. Putting up a resistance. We also have the energy of what? Shame, darling dears. Shema kilo dem kwati. And we have what? We've got an archway at this particular back. This person also appears to be wearing a mask. It's not. It's just the marks on their face, darling dears. This person may even have a identifying mark on their face. This person or people, darling dears. Could be a tribe. I don't know. But it also speaks about what? The opportunities that they want, darling dears, are not coming towards them. Why? Their back is to the opportunity. They're too busy focusing on you, darling dears. Focusing on you as you continue to what? Live out loud. Listen, you continue to shake it like you got it on loan, darling dears. Continue. Also, you also have the numbers 22, 19, and 31. Should it be of importance to someone or confirmation? Maybe it's their date of birth, darling dears. Maybe it's the number of years you've been in entanglement with these people. Base of the deck, darling dears, because you levered up on a bitch or Mitch. Listen, I can't make this up. 72 in the chat. Are we not at a 9 again? Listen, when the universe come through, it don't play, darling dears. Number 9, the 9th house also speaks about astrology. So somebody's going into their astrology. Listen, do it, darling dears. Understanding your birth natal chart is the most important thing that you will have to what? Perpetrate. Yes, baby. Because it shows you, it shows your relationships, it shows the type of person that you're attracted to. It shows you layers of yourself because you are what? An onion cat. There's so many uncovered layers of yourself, darling dears. And every layer you uncover, it what? It reinforces and uplifts your spiritual gifts. Remember, I told you that. Your birth natal chart, your perfection chart, and a synastry chart, darling dears. If you're going into a relationship, you can look to see how you'll balance that together. Listen. For me to go in a relationship right now, baby, hey, oi. Listen, that's the thing. When you free yourself of people, you're so used to your freedom. Everything's going your way. Your hairlines come back. You've got peace. You've got skrillers in your pocket. You've got plans within plans. Listen, and make it worse. I'm the type of cat, I love my own company. Oi. I told you I don't even hang with I, myself, and me anymore. It's just I. How many of you in the chat really have friends at this moment in time? I don't have any personal friends at this moment in time. And I couldn't give a good golly or a gosh. Many times the friends that I've had have been back front neck tabbers, right? Or they've been a drain on my energy, repeating the same thing over and over. They come to you with your problems. Next you know, you're looking sucked out like Smeagol, and they're looking all plump and fresh to go back into the fucking ease that they just put on you, darling dears. When I was younger, it would have bothered me, but that's because when I was younger, I didn't know me and I didn't realize how much there is to know. Because the key to this world, darling dears, is knowledge. But it's not just the knowledge, bestie. It's the knowledge applied. This is what will bring dramatic change, sudden changes in your life. And not only that, it powers up your self-confidence, which is being attacked by those that have been left behind. Right. Let's carry on. Let's get some cards. What's the main color I can see out here? I can see yellow. I can see green. Let's go with the green. Keeping your circle tight and right, darling. Listen, anytime Mercury retrograde comes out, tongue twisters is like I've lost my ability to speak. Look, who is this person? Or is it the energy? Is it a stuttering batado? Someone that speaks with a lisp tongue, right? Oh, secret admirer, darling dear. Somebody has a secret admirer on them. It better not be someone that likes the duct tape and the chloroform, right? Because we are ready. And if you don't understand what I mean, go and watch my Don't Get Smoked video where I teach you light kung fu and self-defense. Look at this bad karma, darling dears. Someone's going through it. They're supposed to listen. Sometimes you have to remember, right? Your haters are your admirers. They watch you all of the time. If you've got a channel, they're the ones that's bringing the numbers up, right from your viewage, because they're paying attention. If you've got a business, they're always the traffic that comes through, and every traffic that comes through your business, darling, especially if you've got a website, it's being counted. Just tell them to keep it up. They must keep it up. They got the bad karma on them, right? What? They like it just fine, darling dears. They like the situation where they are at this moment in time. So these people or person is not looking to change in any way. And tick-tock, the clock is ticking, darling dears. Nobody knows the day, the hour, or the minute, darling dears. And people don't understand about these words, generational curse. When you choose to understand whom you are, being the black sheep is not so bad, darling dears. You was the one with wisdom. You've got the chance to change, bend the matrix, use your words, your energies, your gifts to uplift another big cat. A generational curse could be in the form of abusive relationships. That is a pattern throughout your relationship. Yeah, fatherless children, well, the majority of society is like that. But you was the one that was there to what? Face your demons. You faced your demons, darling dears. And you understood the assignment when you can't get rid of your shadow side. It is a balance of the two, darling dears. Because you still got to be able to tell them about them blood clot. Yeah. TikTok. Or maybe it's something on TikTok. Do you have a TikTok account, darling dears, that they're watching you as a mass marauder? Sometimes they will get these fake accounts, darling dears, and start liking and leaving comments on your stuff because they can't speak to you, darling dears. They have to come in as an even deeper, in a deeper mask wearing state. Remember, I told you that. Right. So they got the bad karma and somebody has the secret admirer. Let's use a deck I haven't used in a while. Base of the deck, baddest of them all, Empress energy. Also speaks about what? Knowing your worth and adding tax. You have what? Abundance in your future. You could be pregnant, birthed a child. You may even be a mother. The Empress can represent mother or father because gender is fluid in tarot, darling dears. The Empress is what? Earth as well as Venus energy, darling dears. Venus is what? For abundance, is beauty. You're looking good, darling dears. Possibly this is why they're having all sorts of palpitations. Somebody's also in the process of buying a house or acquiring a new home, darling. There's movement. Why? Because abundance is your go-to move. It also speaks about, I'm still getting the energy from the bad karma. Somebody's speaking on what you've actually achieved for yourself, because I'm telling you, they're paying attention. They are paying attention. They feel offended by your abundance. That's the word. They're offended by your abundance. Taroted. Listen, you're going to be... Listen, I already told you, when you come over here, Jamaican. Right? Because we're going through this together. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Jumped right up. What's this? Whatever seeds you sow, darling, this speaks about your harvest season. You're about to harvest something. Queen of Wands also speaks about, in this particular case, because on this particular deck, it's a mask-wearing marauder. Somebody's looking at what you've actually, the seeds that you've actually sowed, right? Looking at the potential, darling dears. You may, as I said, you may have a business. You may have something online. It could also be studying, whatever it is, darling dears. It's been a slow process, but succeed, you will. Why? Because this is 7. And the Knight of Pentacles, that goes to 8 of Pentacles, darling dears. This is success. Somebody sees you on some form of pedestal, platform. They could be a secret admirer. They could be admiring you in the back, darling dears. But it could also be someone who is what? Got the green-eyed monster on them. This is someone upset. This is a Jezebel spirit. Split the deck. Yep, someone who you've ended the situation with. World card. Base of the deck again. You've got incoming, but it also speaks about travel and movement, darling dears. Okay, travel and movement of what? It could also be a message. Oh gosh, from someone that you're isolated from, darling dears. They want to get back in contact with you because you're the baddest of them all. They don't know how you overcame. They don't know how you're able to stand alone, darling dears. Be self-autonomated, darling dears. Still be abundant and looking good whilst doing it. If you've got progeny, you're doing a damn fine job. If I say so myself, darling dears. The Empress twice. People that you've isolated yourself from, darling dears, because of their in and out energy. Knight of Wands is also a messenger, but this is, in this particular sense, this is fickle energy. When you're friends with them, then you're not. The energy is always different. You felt a different energy. When you stepped into the room, darling dears, with the Knight of Wands, this is gossip floating around, darling dears. People think they've got your file. They spoke a lot about it. There's a lot of betrayal around that situation. But you, listen. King of Swords, what did I tell you? They're not, listen, this is major watching, darling dears. This is peepers on. This goes to what? Two of Swords. People that put you in a difficult situation. People that chose many others over you, darling dears. It put you in a lot of confusion. Why? Because it was the push-pull that you will, it was like, putting a carrot before a donkey. I'm not calling you a donkey, but it was a situation that never got quite there, darling dears. Why? Because of the in and out we saw. Knight of Wands energy. Base of the deck, Queen of Pentacles. Two queens on the tableau speaks about the gossip. Look! These same ones that were fickle with you, darling dears. Always fanning the flame of wickedness at your back. All they do is talk about you. Why? Now that you're gone. So what's the main topic of their gossip? Because they can't take you out their mouth. What's the main topic? We've got King of Wands now, darling dears. This goes to what? Six of Wands, darling dears. It's because you've achieved something. Six of Wands is about success. It also speaks about what? Being on a pedestal, darling dears. You may even have some kind of spiritual works. You could even be a reader, darling dears. But you've got some kind of platform, something on social media, which is what? Breathing success. Yeah. What's this? Ah, well, they didn't like your shapely butt cheeks when you left, darling dears. Law 16 of the 48 Laws of Power. Yeah. Block game, darling dears. And again, it speaks about your spiritual protection. They didn't understand your particular kung fu. Yeah. You got the badass alchemist ways. And again, a short journey. Somebody's moving, darling dears. This is a new home, a new job. It could also... I heard retirement, leaving a situation, darling dears, but you're going to be stable, you're going to be secure. Somebody thought that you would have a mundane life, darling dears. They think you've got all of the skrilla, maybe all of the attention. They think that your life is boring. How can your life be boring when you've got 64 ancestors at your back? Where you've got your common sense, right? A flower which doesn't grow in every garden, darling dears. It's a superpower to them. The fact that you managed to free yourself from generational curses. The generational curses, like I said, it could be from abusive relationships to you know, that kind of abuse. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs. Yes. You're manifesting a stable foundation, darling dears. I want to know about this bad karma. You want to know about this bad juju? Where's my bell? Let the juju stay with the sender. Because we ain't got time for the spiritual ping pong. Remember, when you catch that negative energy, darling dears, I used to lock and bind it. I don't do that shit no more. I lock, I bind it, right? With love and light. And I release it to the Most High Father, God, Mother Isis. That is not my portion. Good child. Look at this. I nearly made the card. Why have the cards gone all mixed around in it like this? Okay. You want to know about this bad juju, this bad karma? What's this? Five of Swords, darling dears. They're going through bad karma. It's on them like white or rice, darling dears. Somebody wants to make amends. It also speaks about if it was a relationship, somebody wants to get back with you, darling dears. Yeah, they want to slip back in. You better not. This is the leader of the liars. Hold on a minute. I can't believe. Listen, I was nearly struck speechless. Listen, this is the liar leader, the lion leader, the airbender leader, right? Palace of Cups. This is somebody who is manipulative in relationships, a liar. A merchant of slander, a perpetrator of gossip, darling dears. Listen, they want to make amends, darling dears. They want to make amends. Remember, this is the liar leader. Good child. Listen. I told you already, you get taught things when you come here. If you should actually see one of these energies while you're out in life, living your best life, darling dears. And it's unavoidable. They've plonked themselves in front of you and they want a conversation. You use psychology on them, darling dears. Stare straight in the middle of their forehead. That will make them so effing uncomfortable, darling dears. People will try and use it on you, but because you understood the assignment, you'll know when somebody's trying to use that on you, darling dears. You will know. Just like if you want to bond with somebody, you look into their left eye. When you're speaking to them the whole time, listen, look in the middle of their forehead. You'll notice that their body will start turning away from you, right? And then after that, they'll be gone. They won't understand that energy. Listen, the same energy that they've been sending on you, that they're trying to rock you to sleep in and bring... Listen, if you're going to bring them back into your life, I think we're going to have to break up, bestie. We're going to have to break up because I'm not going to tell you over and over again. I've told you they're coming. I told you they're mad. And I also told you that something significant, something fortunate is about to unfold in your life over the next 12 months. And remember, we've already earmarked May for the date because that May came out in a lot of readings. So something is about to unfold from May, right? And the king or queen of the liars or a group of liars would like to come back in and make amends. And they've got bad karma on them. So if you want the wiki dubplate remix of karma, invite them in. But for those of you that don't want it, raise your left hand and repeat after me. My hairline comes first. All right, let's carry on. So they got the bad karma, they're lying. Inconsistent in relationships, darling dears. This person is, or people are bad communicators. Look, it's not just one person, it's a whole horde. A horde of unwashed, darling dears. And Pentacles in the reverse also speaks about health. Maybe they're going to come in with a health issue, darling dears, and they want you to help. These could also be, like I said, it could be a car accident, a bike accident. Maybe they was hit or they was involved in it, darling dears. But they want you to involve yourself in them. Base of the... Look, I can't make this up, bestie. And again, we're back in the strength card. 8th house, darling dears. Other people's money in the... They ain't got none, right? They ain't got none. The 8th house is also the marriage house. This could be an ex-partner, an ex-husband or wife, darling dears. This person doesn't have any assets. Listen, I just felt my ovaries try to jump back into my body. What do you mean they haven't got any assets? The same ovaries I hid outside underneath the tree, blood. They ain't got no assets, right? They've got nothing, right? This is someone who's having an issue with letting, or someone's that's having an issue with letting go. This person is also coming in for what? A loan. They are broke pocketers. Buddy, have you got a dime? Do we have time for petty? Yep. Because who gonna check me, boo? Jez. And Belle. Them have no pentacale. No pentacale. None. Not a bean. This is a beggar with a begging bowl. Who is what? The king or queen of the liars, darling dears. They will be coming in what? Full wolf in sheep's clothing, darling dears. You better get your Peter 5:8 on. What's that? Be of a sober spirit, right? And on the alert. And never you forget, darling dears. I believe it's is it Romans 2:12, right? We are of an elevated mind right about now. Your mind is elevated, right? These people are gonna come in like poor thing. Oh my God, all these catastrophes, darling dears. Listen, I run from negative people, blood. You just have to listen. Case is gone. You know why? I've got my own chariot of righteousness, darling dears. Right? And I don't like no one to put their energies on me. Now that I know how to protect my energies. Why? Because we're humanitarians. Me and you, bestie, we are soldiers for the light. You are HEYOKA, empath, darling. HEYOKA is a super empath. You read the energy. And you took a lot of their burdens on. Why would you burden yourself with what? The bad karma of the king or queen of the liars. And there's a lot of them, darling dears, that's going through certain karmas. Brock pocketers. Buddy, have you got a dime? The energy of the 2 could also represent the 2nd house. The 2nd house is what? These people are talentless, darling dears. They had more value in material worth. Well, guess what? They haven't even got the non-material or the material. They've got a double whammy, the energy of the two, darling dears. Energies that can't let go of you. And as I said, they've got nothing to bring to the tableau, darling dears. In the reverse, this is all karmic debt. What did I just finish talking about? The generational cursation of it all, darling dears. So they're going to, all right, let's set the stage. So they're coming back, right? They're coming in meek. They're coming in mild. They're coming in sick. Or with a sick story, darling dears. You better choose right, darling dears. In the upright, this is about you not being sure, blindfolded. Maybe time has changed these what? People with personality disorders. Maybe they don't want my psychological password. Maybe they're not going to stab me all up and down my back tracker and have my name in the streets, darling dears. Maybe they won't literally give me a blade, darling dears, and put me with the fishes. Maybe they, listen, when it's like this, you listen. Oi. Because this goes the Seven of Swords. Don't allow these marauders in, darling dears. In the upright, this is someone that has got a toehold. Maybe they can. They're not sure if they can get back in, darling dears. This is Seven of Swords on its face, darling dears. On its face. This person or people are going through some serious karmic punishments. They want to make amends, not because, right? They feel they want to make amends because of what they done did or what they said. They want to make amends because they want you to join in their karma, and they would like that just fine. Listen, I'm an invisible cat. I go Cheshire cat mode, blood. Teeth and eyes. Teeth and third eye. So make the right decision. Look at this. Tree of life on its forehead, darling dears. This is somebody who is a fool. Yeah, foolio, right? They're repeating negative cycles. What did I say about the generational cursation? You have to catch it, darling dears, as the black sheep. Remember, you had to catch that and realize the madness of the cycles that was going through. And you was amongst feeble-minded people that were going nowhere, darling dears. Remember, people that attack you, they're, in most cases, they're not doing better than you. They're not. Or they see the potentials within you and they want to dumb you down. Didn't I just say the solar plexus? We're playing the solar plexus, blood. We're doing it for the what? The 528 over the next 7 days. Anytime, even in your earphones, don't listen to these balancing out frequencies, darling dears. Balance out your solar plexus. Make sure that your self-confidence, your will, your power, your energy, your vitality is on point. That you can't be caught in a weak moment. Like I said, bestie, you know me, love my company. Listen, sometimes when the progeny come and talk to me, I'm like, what do you want? Who is it at the door? Even though I know they're in the house. Because I'm not, listen, when I'm telling you, I research things. I'm a Capricorn midhaven. It's my thing. Intel is my thing. So they got the bad luck. Ooh! 10 of cups on his face. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Disloyal to the core, darling dears. Disloyal to the core. It could be family members. I tried not to bring it up. I did rewind it, but the spirit is saying. There are many that are looking at you, darling dears, looking at what the light that's shining from you. It could be the opportunities. Like I said, somebody is updating them. If not all of them are watching, someone is updating them. Why? They're trying to disrespect your name, but this same person or people still want to come back around you with their bad luck itself, darling. Where's my bell? Listen, this bell's in overdrive. Clear out that energy. What's this? Page of Pentacles, opportunist, hobosexuals, darling dears. 11, was it 111 in the chapter? This, what chapter? What is this thing about chapter? Is it a chapter of a book? Have you finished this chapter? The Page of Pentacles is on its forehead, darling dears. It's an opportunist, a hobosexual. And it also again speaks about medical issues, darling dears. Somebody who is immature. Page of Pentacles with no money is a broke pocketer's buddy. Have you got a dime? And they will do anything to get what you've got, darling dears. What's this? Listen, they're toxic to the core, darling dears. And their future don't look bright, blood. Two of Wands next to the Page of Pentacles on it don't look good. And they don't love you, darling dears. There's no love, no compassion. And they're the King or Queen of the Liars. Can I tell you they're lying still? Listen, the cards ain't... Listen, the cards don't play. People lie. The cards don't. And I give you the messages, so don't judge me. I'm a pointer, not a picker. Coming to lie and confuse, darling dears. Rob, steal, and kill, and put you on the rocks of life. Possibly wanting you, what, dodo dead. Why? Because your infinite gifts can't dawn. The well is never dry once you know thyself. Once you understand your noof, no, darling dears. Once you look at your south node and you realize what the... Because when I decided to break away from everyone, I was not looking at my north and south node tough like that. But tarot, numerology, astrology, everything is hand in hand. Palmistry is all connected. And then it's all connected within our body, because you can put the astrological, the zodiacs to a different part of your body. It covers a different part of your body. So when you have an issue in that area, look at the planetary energies, darling dears. Look at the planetary energies. Look at the aspects around that. And it will tell you if you have an illness, it will tell you how to what? Fix it. Everything is there. Everything is there. You even got the herbs, certain plants, things that can make you well, darling dears, that are lined up to that zodiac sign, darling dears. That zodiac sign that is being affected in your body. God gave us all of the tools to heal thyself. And after you've done that, you've got to avoid the lying liars. Because they're coming with a rod for your back, darling dears. Sword energy. They're not using no logic. It's in the reverse. Feeble-minded, darling dears. King of... What did I say? Big time spying. Slow to speak, darling dears. Was slow to speak on your behalf. Yeah. Knight of Pentacles. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is something... Look. They're coming, blood. With their bad luck itself. Where's my bell? It's not bothering me. No, sir. When I go to my bed, I sleep like a newborn babe, darling dears. Just been fed, bathed, and powdered up, darling dears. Nothing bothers me. Why? Because leveling up was always the prize, darling dears. You have the two pillars here. The two pillars speaks about the stability and the structure. It's Boaz and Jashin for completion and beginning. The same two pillars that are found outside King Solomon's temple in the Book of Kings, darling dears. The archway behind you shows you the portals, the gateways. And as we said at the beginning, the cat was turned backwards. Something major is coming towards it you don't see. And I'm not talking about the marauders, darling dears. Something major that the Most High is about to gift you with. Why the 9 is about spirit. Trying to F up what you got going on with their wicked self. They're wicked. Let's get some final messages. And we're out of here because we're nearly at the 60 minutes and nobody was going to stop me, darling dears. We've got, who's that? Am. Hello, Am. Big Cat. Oracle 7100. Big Cat. Wave. Hello. Glad you could pop in on your busy day. Final message. King of Pentacles. Know your worth and add tax. You may even be an entrepreneur. And again, you're doing something online. This is about manifestation, darling dears. The energy of the thing. Somebody's also manifesting a true divinely guided partner. Spirit. The Ace of Wands speaks about a lover. A new lover coming. Listen. What did I tell you about the lovers? Where's my shit? What did I tell you about the fucking lovers? You can have them, right? You better get your boosie badass on. Get your boosie badass. You don't give up your genitalia like that. I don't care if they want to go on to... Let them go along. Didn't I tell you the king of the... or queen of the liars is coming in? And another one, because you thought I was joking. Listen, we're best friends, right? And I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you again, but good God. I don't care if he come in holding him or her, right? I don't care if they come in holding Jesus and Buddha's hand, right? With a signed contract, you still investigate. And I've told you many ways you can do quick investigations. You may not have their date of birth, but you get their age. Find out their age. When you got their age, you use this. I'll keep this on my wall so I don't bloody forget. A perfection will. We are all on a 12-year cycle. This is future forecasting for astrology, darling dears. I think you can go on Pinterest and get this down, right? But this will tell you what kind of a year you're having, right, for the next 12 months. When you've got your date of birth, you can put in all of the other planets and know which is going to be your house lord, which planet is ruling that year. But anyway, say for instance, all right, now, I am currently 56. I'm having a ninth house year. Ninth house is for higher learning. It's for knowledge. It's expansion. It's about foreign people, darling dears. It's about education. And the ninth house is about astrology. And I'm telling you, by God, listen, by everything in me, you lot are going to learn astrology, right? Because I'm in the ninth house, yeah? And that's what's going to happen. But like I said, download one of these. You can keep it on your phone. Just by knowing someone's age, you know what house they're in for their year. And it will give you some kind of heads up. If you meet somebody in 11th house, right? And maybe they're in their, 46, 34. They may be around groups, darling dears. They haven't finished going in the pool. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're still out there dating. They're still fabulous and gorgeous and wowing the world and breaking many hearts. You can work out things, but this is very important, okay? When you come here, you get true intel. Not just the story, but we love the stories, darling dears. Especially if we're paying attention, and it's not going to happen to us. All right. Yeah, somebody's getting a divinely guided partner. King of Pentacles could also represent you, darling dears, because people are shining their what? Greedy eye on you. The same ones that stabbed you all up and down your back chakras, darling dears. The betrayal that you had to overcome. But the biggest betrayal that you had to overcome and forgive was forgiveness of yourself. Because when you are forgiving people, darling dears, forgive yourself first for what you didn't know. But once you know something, you can't unknow it. So you cannot find yourself back in that situation again. One more card. Because you've already healed. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. But remember, this redirection, this new path that you find yourself on, this blessing that's coming towards you, right? That's going to unfold over the next 12 months. Don't allow no one to interrupt that, darling dears. It's a blessing for you. Not everybody's meant to go through this doorway with you. And if they've done you something in the past, they've only become a bigger narc, a bigger, high commander Decepticon. Remember, when you was going through your healing, many of us had to heal ourselves by ourselves. We had to have, listen, I had to slap myself around the face so many times, right? And the wickedest thing, I do it with my left hand. I don't know what the left hand is doing. My right hand, I told you, is my dominant hand. My left hand, blood. And I don't want to beat myself like that again. Oh, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. You have to heal by yourself. And when you heal by yourself, you come back as the baddest of them all. Your integrity. You live by the truth, darling dears. This is why you've been gifted with this spiritual upgrade. This is why you're getting these downloads. And this is why you're about to receive the biggest blessing, as I said, which will unfold in your life over the next 12 months. You had to learn to heal yourself, darling dears. You had to learn. You had to get up off your knees. And the only time we go on our knees again is to what? Give gratitude and thanks. Because you overcame, but you overcame wiser. Swords is about your mental, your logic, your learning, your ideas, your thoughts, darling dears. It's also about what? Transformation of your intellect and how you express yourself. The swords energy is represented by Archangel Michael. No, I keep saying Michael. It's not Michael. It's Raphael. Michael represents fire energy. Well, fire is already on the table. Call either one of them, darling dears. The air energy also represented by the eagle. I already told you to drop down and get your eagle on. And also the air energy, right? The sword energy represents what? The spring equinox. And isn't that during the what? May? Yeah. This is going to happen between the two equinoxes, darling dears. This thing that's coming into your life. Remember I told you that, and I told you, go and watch those readings. The one that I did on Kate, the two on Kate, and the one on Vibes Cartel. I do predictive reading sometimes, but sometimes you guys don't want to hear about celebrity. But listen, Vibes Cartel, he's a lyricist, right? And if he did do it, if he did do it, they effed up the case by what? Messing up the evidences not allowing him to go to appeal. If he never had the money to go to the Privy Council, just imagine what's happening to the regular Jamaican on the street that gets into the court system, how they can be railroaded. And Jamaica ain't easy when you're in prison, you know. You need someone to bring you food. You ain't going to get no air-conditioned cell like you would in the UK or the USA, right? You got to live with that heat, and Jamaica's hot, blood, and them mosquitoes, they ain't discriminatory. When I go to Jamaica, the mosquitoes wait for me at the airport. I can hear the trays. They're coming for me, blood. Anyway, yeah, let them worry and wonder, darling dears. 9 of Swords all speaks about what? The energies that's being sent to you. As we began the read on the beginning, we're going to end it on a 9, darling dears. Remember, this is energies outside of yourself. People that have not been able to bend the matrix. People that have not healed their own wounds. We saw the tree of life on its face. Don't allow the enemy in, darling dears. Can you see the hand coming through the archway? Coming to take your blessing, your opportunity, whatever it is divine is gifting you with, darling dears, because of the hard work you've done. We've got 117 in the chat. Is that not a 9 again? Listen. On that note, before I say the next thing, I'm going to say this. Bestie, just do me a favor, yeah? Over the next 12 months, protect these 3 things. They're very important. And you're thinking, what 3 things, Case? What 3? Listen, don't push me around. I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Protect your hippocampus, right? Your hippocampus, right, is where the trauma is, right? And it shrinks. Protect your prefrontal cortex, right? Your prefrontal cortex is where the PTSD live, blood. And protect your amygdala. That means don't get involved with the F shit. Read the energy, darling dears. Read the energy. You've been gifted with that because of the path you chose. You chose the unknown. And bravo, bestie. It wasn't for the faint-hearted. So keep going. Continue to get great. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. May your comings and goings be continually covered by the what? The wisdom, guidance, and grace of Father God, Mother Isis. Make the right decision, but make sure you choose you first, last, and always. Big cat wave!